Welcome back to Spine and Sports Therapy. We are, of course, your resource for all things injury prevention, sports medicine, rehabilitation, recovery, all things related to movement medicine. If you move better, you will heal better so that you can live better. So today I'm going to go over the rolling exercise for the top forearm muscle. There's actually a series of muscles here in the top of the forearm that connect up here to the outer elbow. These are the muscles that are commonly referred to as the extensor muscles of the forearm. These are the muscles that here at their origin, where they anchor into your elbow, that cause the common condition that we call tennis elbow. So tennis elbow is really simply a tendinopathy, a tendinitis, if you will, of the tendon where these group of muscles originate here on the outer elbow. So it's really common in throwers like baseball athletes, especially, of course, obviously tennis athletes. It is commonly known as tennis elbow. So again, this area where those muscles anchor into the elbow, it's really a tendinous junction, and that tendinous junction gets frayed. There's some inflammatory cells that develop in that area that cause a kind of chronic state of inflammation and pain, and it loses some integrity over time. So again, that's where we get those type of symptoms for this type of injury. But these muscles extend all the way down here into the wrist. Some of them even go into the fingers. So I'm going to show you a rolling exercise for these muscles. Now keep in mind, if someone did have symptoms here at the upper elbow and it was tennis elbow, a lot of times an injury like that is commonly is not the problem, or it's what we call the victim. It's not necessarily the culprit. So even though you have pain here at the elbow and that's where the injury is, that doesn't mean that's the problem. Oftentimes it means that's what's suffering. That's the victim, if you will. There can be a culprit somewhere else. It could be the bicep muscle. It could be a poor shoulder stability. It could be impingement in the neck of a certain nerve that's causing inhibition of a muscle into the arm or the forearm, that's causing this muscle to be overworked. And then it leads to the injury over time. So anyway, I say all that to say that just because you have pain here and just because you roll this muscle doesn't mean that's going to fix the problem. But rolling this muscle is definitely good and healthy for this muscle regardless. So this will be a good, valuable tool for you to have in your tool bag to work on this top forearm muscle. My favorite tool to use for this muscle is the handheld stick. Using a foam roller, you can get into the muscle a little bit, but using a ball, you can also use a lacrosse ball to get into this muscle. But again, this happens to be a better tool for the forearm muscles, just in general. So I'm going to show it to you right now. So how I do this is, like most of my rolling exercises, I recommend people put a medium stretch on the muscle and then roll it. Sometimes people make the mistake of just rolling a muscle when it's kind of loose, and it's not nearly as effective as when you stretch the muscle and then roll it. When you do those things together, it's far more effective tool. So I'm going to place the muscle on stretch, and how I do that is placing my back hand on the ground next to me, with my thumb facing behind me and my fingers facing away from me. Then I'm going to take the stick roller here and pin the bottom handle against my hip, and I'm going to move the upper part of the stick roller with my other hand. I'm rolling right over that muscle, and I can move my forearm a little bit to get different parts of that muscle. I can rotate it this way to hit the more front part of these forearm extensor muscles, and then kind of a little bit more on the back side of those extensor muscles. And I especially get up here at the top. Again, that's the common area where tension builds up in this musculotendinous junction, where the muscle and the tendon meet, and then when the tendon attaches into the bone as well. So that's a tender area on me right there. So always when you roll, I do what I call scanning at first, or just general massage. But if you find a particular area that's taut or tender, what I call a hot spot, then stay on that area and give it more attention. So for me, that's right there. So there it is. Again, you can take the stick roller, you place your back hand on the ground next to you, thumb facing behind you. You're going to pin that handle against your hip there, and then you just roll the stick up and down, and you can rotate your arm to get different parts of the muscle. But really effective, nice little tool to get some movement and rolling into these top forearm muscles, which is a really important muscle for forearm health and also finger and wrist health as well. It crosses both joints. So check that thing out, try it out. Of course, always feel free to leave a comment if you need help troubleshooting any of these. I would love for you to subscribe to our channel as well. We've got a whole slew of awesome content regarding, like I said before, rehabilitation, recovery, sports medicine, injury prevention. So thanks so much for tuning on. Remember, if you move better, you'll heal better, so you can live better. All right, guys, have a great rest of your day. I'm Dr. B, tuning off.